We will move on to the next one. I think it's your gas or pass.
Okay, so mine is one I think we've been looking at a long time.
All right.
But we haven't talked about it in a long time.
Okay.
The Zvex Nano head.
Oh, yeah.
All right. When this thing first came out,
Yep.
I mean, I was all for it. I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. It's this tiny little thing.
Zachary Vexter. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, it has an input, it has a bright switch, and it has, like, thin, normal, and fat.
Yeah.
And like one knob.
It's got an internal
that's
speaker
the tone.
in it. It's got
that's the tone.
internal speaker in it.
Right. I mean, it's tiny.
Yeah, but I mean, how cool is it? It's got
really
an internal
cool.
speaker.
But it's seriously 1 watt.
Yep.
It's got a little bitty transformer.
Real weird tube in it.
Real weird tube. You plug it into a head, though, and that thing sounds
Monster.
great. It sounds so good.
And how much are they going for right now?
$600.
$600? Well, I'm just going to go ahead and say it's a total gas. Like, I would love to have one. I would love to play with it. We've talked in the past about amps that would be fun to play with and inspirational whenever you're hanging out at your house. A 112 cab with that, let me be honest, I would set it on top of this Marshall and plug it into this 412 and just let it kill it. You know what I mean? Just crank it up and let it, just for fun.
Right.
I'm not going to take it gigging. I'm not going to do that. But for $600, it's going to be fun to play with.
Right.
It's going to be awesome to have at the house. And I guarantee I get my money's worth out of just having fun with it.
Right. I mean, I think it would be really cool. Now, you got to keep in mind, you can get this Zvex Nano head that's 1 watt.
Yep.
For $600. Or, and this is something I've thought about, I could also justify getting an OR15, an orange head, for about the same price.
No. You're right. You're absolutely right. It's completely two different things.
Completely.
Two completely different purposes. Yes, if you're technically going into it and like, well, I've got $600 to spend here. What should I spend it on? If you've already got gigging amps and you're cool, kind of like in the scenario we're at, the Nano would be fun.
Yeah.
If you don't have a gigging amp or you're in need of a backup or something different, that's the time probably to look at that orange.
Right.
But I think for me, it's a total gas. I would love it. It's as much as a pedal.
Exactly. I mean, some people spend more than that on pedals.
Right.
So I mean, I think it's super cool. I mean, I remember early YouTube days, there was this guy, Shanker69.
Yeah.
And he would plug an OCD pedal into it.
Yep.
And that thing sounded monstrous.
He had like a 212 Avatar cab, and he was like using some crappy audio.
It was terrible. It just showed the amp and I think the pedal or something.
Yeah. And it was just, man.
It sounded great.
It was really, and he was not a bad player.
He was a great player.
Yeah. Go check that out if you haven't seen that. I don't think he's put up videos in forever.
Who knows if they're still out there? But
yeah, he could be dead.
Okay. Well, that took a turn.
It's been a long time. I'm just saying. I mean, I don't know how old he was then.
Yeah, but the Zvex Nano head, we both want one.
Yep. Please send them to us.
That would be great too. Send everything to us.
You know what? How cool. We were talking about a stereo Twilighter.
Uh-huh.
Get 2 Zvex Nano heads. 2 1x12 cabs. Right?
That's ridiculous.
It is, but I mean, you're talking $1,200 for 2 heads.
That would be great. The best micro rig ever.
Oh man, I'll tell you what, you could mic it up and use it.
You could.
I don't know. They sound great. They sound like a maxed out, like small Marshall. Mm-hmm. Like they just sound.
I mean, granted, that's in a 412 because that's what we listened to.
Yeah, we didn't even like really talk about what they sound like, but they just sound like cranked up Marshalls.